In this video, I'll show you how to connect a soft artificial skin to an Arduino to control LEDs. We already have another video that shows you how to make the skin, which is made from a flexible silicone rubber with an embedded strip of conductive fabric. You can find that video linked in the description of this one, along with written instructions on our site and a materials list. In this video, we'll switch over to the computer to look at the circuit diagram and code. Here we have the circuit, and the first thing I'll note is that strip of conductive fabric acts like a variable resistor. Its resistance decreases when you stretch on it, but Tinkercad, the free online circuit simulator that I am simulating this in, doesn't have a part for that type of stretch sensor, so we are just going to model it with a fixed resistor here, and I can click on it and change the value to simulate stretching the sensor. I have 4 LEDs connected to Arduino pins 2 through 5. Each LED has the anode or longer leg or positive side connected to the Arduino pin, and then the cathode or short leg or negative side is connected through a 470 ohm resistor to the ground bus. Note, this might be larger than the typical 220 ohm resistor you would expect when working with the Arduino Uno R3, which is what Tinkercad is simulating, but the Science Buddies Arduino kit comes with an Arduino Uno R4 compatible model, and those pins cannot supply as much current as the R3. It's only 8 milliamps instead of 20 milliamps, thus the larger resistor, but that is going to make the LEDs look a little dimmer in this Tinkercad simulation. If you have never used an Arduino before and you don't even know how to use LEDs, we do recommend checking out our Arduino tutorial series before continuing with this more advanced project. Again, you can find that linked in the video description. Next, we have a potentiometer, which you will use to tune the threshold at which the LEDs start turning on when you pull on the sensor. The potentiometer has 3 pins. Make sure each pin goes in a different row in the breadboard. You do not want to do this and put all 3 pins in the same row of the breadboard, or they will be shorted together. If you don't know how a breadboard works, we also have a great tutorial about that on our YouTube channel. So make sure the 3 pins are in separate rows of the breadboard. One of the outer pins is going to go to your power bus, one of the outer pins is going to go to your ground bus, and then the middle pin, or the wiper, is going to go to Arduino analog input pin A1. Next, we have the sensor, and I mentioned that this sensor behaves like a variable resistor, but the Arduino cannot measure resistance directly. It can only measure voltage. So to effectively measure this change in resistance or detect when the sensor is stretching, we need to make something called a voltage divider, which consists of 2 resistors in series. So we're not really going to get into the math of how this works in this video. There are other videos online that will explain that for you, but the point is you are going to connect your sensor, which again, I'm just using a fixed resistor in the simulation to represent the sensor, but this is going to be your conductive fabric embedded in that artificial robotic skin, to alligator clips and jumper wires so you can connect it to the breadboard, and then you're going to connect it in series to another resistor. I am using a 470 ohm resistor here because that's what comes in the Science Buddies Arduino kit. And then on one end of that voltage divider, the end connected to the stretch sensor, you're going to connect it to 5 volts through your breadboard power bus. On the other end, you're going to connect it to ground, and then you're going to connect the middle pin, so the pin between the 2 resistors, because that's where the voltage is going to change when you stretch the sensor. You're going to connect that to Arduino analog input pin A0. Now let's look at the code. Especially if you are doing this for a science project, I strongly recommend actually reading through the code line by line and reading all the comments instead of just copying and pasting it, so you understand how the code works, and that will make it easier for you to make changes if you want to customize it. So I will be going through it line by line here and explaining how it works. First, we declare an array for the LED pins, so if you want to add more LEDs, that makes it easy to just add to this array. We then have some additional variables. We have pins for both the sensor and the potentiometer that we're going to use to set a threshold to turn those LEDs on. We have a variable for the sensor reading, and then a variable for the threshold from the potentiometer. I am then, as you will see later, going to add a fixed value to the threshold to turn the LEDs on when each new threshold is reached. So this is a variable you could change to tune how quickly the LEDs light up. In my setup function, I use a for loop to set all of those LED pins as outputs. That saves you from writing this pin mode command multiple times for more than one pin. Note that I do have the length or number of iterations of my for loop hard-coded here, so if I added more LEDs, I would have to change this number. You could also use a command to get the length of this array automatically, and then you wouldn't have to change the hard-coded number here. I am then going to initialize serial communication so I can print out my values when I read them in my loop. In my loop function, I'm going to use the analog read command to read both analog pins and then print those values to the serial monitor. And then here is the heart of the program. I have an if-else statement that is going to compare my sensor reading to the threshold plus some multiple of that threshold difference. And I'm actually going to read this if-else statement from the bottom up because I think it's a little more intuitive that way. So the very last condition here, the else or the catch-all, is this: that all of the LEDs are going to be off if the sensor value is not greater than the threshold. And as the sensor value keeps increasing past each one of these thresholds, I'm going to light up more LEDs. So if the sensor value is greater than just the threshold value, which again I can adjust with the potentiometer, I'm just going to light up one LED. If it is greater than the threshold value plus that threshold difference variable that I defined earlier, then I'm going to light up two LEDs. If it's greater than the threshold plus 2 times the threshold difference value, I'm going to light up 3 LEDs, and so on. If the sensor value is greater than the threshold value plus 3 times the threshold difference value, then I'm going to light up all 4 LEDs. And that's what got me the behavior you saw at the beginning of the video, where more LEDs lit up as I stretched the sensor more. So if I shrink my code a bit so we can see the circuit a little better and start the simulation, we will see that initially I have the value of this sensor set to 500 ohms. And again, this is just representing the resistance of my conductive fabric. And on the serial monitor here, I can see that the sensor value read by that analog input pin is less than my threshold value. But if I decrease the value of this resistor, which simulates stretching the sensor, for example, to 450, then the sensor value is now above the threshold value and the first LED has lit up. And if I go ahead and continue decreasing this value, say to 400, you see the second LED lights up, to 350, the third LED lights up, and all the way down to 300, the fourth LED lights up. So again, I'm just changing that resistance manually here to simulate stretching the sensor. The other option I have is to adjust this potentiometer to change the threshold value. So say I wanted to stretch the sensor more than that to activate the LEDs. I have increased the threshold. Now it is reading 675. And whereas the LEDs were on previously with the lower threshold, now they're off. So I can go in here and continue dropping this resistance again, and I'll get the same behavior, and the LEDs will turn on as this resistance gets lower, simulating stretching the sensor. Remember that you can find a lot more information linked in the description of this video, including a link to our website with the parts list and downloadable example code, and the link to the other video about how to make the artificial robotic skin. You can also find over 1,000 other projects in all areas of science and engineering at our website, www.sciencebuddies.org.